small lives we share our planet with. Poems by Nell Stryk, paintings by Suzanne Stryk. Honeybee. At breakfast, as I sit here supping toast with gooey golden topping, a thought slips by which seems quite funny. Without bees, there would be no honey. Can you imagine for a minute a honey pot with nothing in it? When late spring blossoms scent the breeze, scouts take off from colonies, seek sweetest pollen, nectar grown, then turn tail and hurry home, and in bee language wag to show how far the workers have to go to stuff their sacks with all the best, then buzz it back into their nests to make bee bread, to feed the crew, top up wax cones for winter food, scramble blobs of royal jellies to fill the queen and larvae bellies. When cold winds blast and snowflakes fall, they cuddle up into a ball. Those deep inside dance up a storm, which like a heater keeps them warm. If you should see a fuzzy thing in gold black jacket on the wing, don't touch, beware, he has a sting. Red Ant. We had a picnic one fine day. An ant arrived, but did not stay. This scout went off to tell his kin, and soon brought back a swarm with him, who, uninvited, shared our bread, without a please or thank you said. We saw some later by the pine, marching in a double line, with half a worm they found. I guessed they'd lug it back into their nest to feed Queen Mother and her crew, milk aphids for their honeydew. They share the chores, don't mind a bit, clean up and hunt and babysit and rob and fight, and that is it. Water strider. I've walked on land, on ships, on plains. I've walked up hills and down again. But check this with my son or daughter, I've never tried to walk on water. I wouldn't pull a stunt like that, because I know I'd just go splat. Yet here's a walker who's so lithe she's walked on water all her life, her rear legs steering like a rudder, the middle ones a smart propeller, the small ones there up front will snatch at any insect she can catch. She winters in leaves by the shore, shows up whenever there's a thaw, to take a turn beyond the tide, a surfer water strider stride. Firefly lightning bug. As twilight falls in summer's heat, and trills and chirps of insect beat begin the concert of the night, I then make out a wondrous sight, as superstars begin their flight. Like tiny lanterns at the fair, these little things take to the air and blink their messages to track a glowworm mate who flashes back. Their eggs and larvae will glow too, which seems a groovy thing to do. And one thing more, if I may dare, I have a secret we can share. These are not bugs or even flies, but soft-shelled beetles in disguise. Elephant stag beetle. He rears up like a jousting knight, armor readied for the fight. Fierce as anything in sight, he opens wide his jaws to bite with his one tooth. This rough and tougher then becomes a shameless bluffer. With all the bluster and the show, he barely pinches on a toe. But when the season comes to date, he doesn't sit around and wait. He goads his rival into battle, locking horns until they rattle. Who flips the other on his back wins his mate, and that is that. Hawk moth, sphinx moth. Hawk moths are so very fast, in one blink of an eye they pass and leave me gaping at the air, wondering, were they really there? Like hummingbirds, they dart and hover, moving on from flower to flower, lapping nectar with a tongue so very long it curls around and shoots out like a party blower, filling up over and over. Their baby hornworms shed 4 times and leave 4 outer shells behind. When threatened, they rear up. I think that's why name-droppers called them sphinx, just like the ones that rose from sand in ancient Egypt's desert land. Garden spider. I saw a spider on a tree and wondered if she noticed me. She had 8 eyes, yet I've heard tell she really doesn't see that well. Instead, will listen for the sound of everything that moves around, pulls silk from spigots on her tongue, and weaves a web, not just for fun. Although she is a champion spinner, this sticky orb will catch her dinner. And if some trouble looms ahead, she'll drop straight down upon a thread, and on 8 hairy legs make haste to find another dining place. Mud dorper wasp. I've cared for art a long time now. Can't figure out the why and how. I've never heard a single thing about an artist on the wing who molds a row of pipe-like beams with mud from puddles, ponds, and streams into a row of nurseries and lays 1 egg in each of these. An extra room for spiders stung to keep fresh for her little ones, who need such meat to help them thrive, while she sips nectar to survive. To keep a tab on bridge or barn on eaves would really do no harm. One never knows what one might see. A sculpted nest for wasps, maybe. Dragonfly 6. 350 million years before a human with ideas lived in this house, or was expected, or Plerosaurus was detected, ages before owls or kites, the sky was filled with dragonflies. Can you imagine all that room to limber up and dive and zoom without the slightest whiff of danger from an unexpected stranger? It seems they have been here forever, muddled through all sorts of weather. Knowing this, we cannot fuss when they take up more room than us inside this book. They have first place, and on that point I rest my case.